please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
एक्सपर्ट हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं एवेंडस कैपिटल के CEO Andrew Holland. Hi Andrew, very good morning to you. Markets for the last 6-7 trading sessions, they have been falling one way. But where do you think the markets will stop falling? And also I would like to know why FIs are continuously selling this market. Is it because of the rupee?
I think a number of reasons. Let me talk about the FIIs first, which will probably answer the first part of the question as well. You know, with the dollar so strong and the rupee weak, obviously, you're going to lose some gains there. But I think also the macro, environment is a lot more uglier than it was, 3-4 months back, with the oil price where it is. It really means that, apart from the appreciating rupee, you're seeing increased yields as well in terms of the treasuries. So, it's not looking good from that aspect. And obviously that will, hurt quite a number of, earnings going forward. And, if I think about that, and then whilst the micro of the earnings results look okay, you are seeing downgrades already in consensus forecasts. So relatively, India's not in a great position, because if you get global growth, anyway, India is not a big player in that, because we're not a big exporter. And obviously, higher oil prices and higher commodity prices does have an impact on India's deficit and obviously interest rates. So from a relative viewpoint, India is not looking great compared to other emerging markets at this point.
For next 12 months, Andrew, which is going to be a politically busy season for us, what kind of range do you see for Sensex or Nifty, whichever index you track?
I think it could it could, in the worst case, in terms of, if you have a global sell-off as well because of, any bond market turmoil, you could get under 10,000 on Nifty. And probably, the high that we've seen for the year is probably, that's that kind of range. But I think the thing that we've all got to kind of assume is that you're going to have a lot of volatility surrounding the next 1 year, not just from a global, kind of aspect, but also, as you rightly say, from a political standpoint, where I'm sure we're going to go with ups and downs in terms of expectations for the BJP forming the next government or not. And obviously what's happening in Karnataka has kind of worried investors about what possibly can go wrong now in 2019. So all of these things will play out, which is probably going to keep us very volatile. But I think this year large caps will outperform mid caps and small caps, that's for sure. It's not just because of what's happened recently, but I think that's going to be the place to hide, is going to be large caps.
So where will you put your money in at this moment, at this point of time? Which stories, sectors do you like? If at all you can share the names of the stocks, it will be great.
Yeah, I won't be able to mention the names, but you can really just, there's not so many within each of these sectors I'm going to mention, but our view is this, is that if the US and China trade pact comes off, which, everyone's thinking it's likely now, then that's probably, again, dollar positive, given it will reduce their deficit. So that means that the rupee could head towards, 70 in the very short term. So I think the places to hide are IT, because obviously it's a tailwind for them in terms of earnings. And plus, I think they're through the worst in terms of their problems. So I'd really, again, stick to some of the large cap and selective mid caps there. And I would look at FMCG, again, the large cap stocks there, where, you're seeing great growth for the first time in many years. And that looks as though it's going to continue now. And it's going to be, a 3 to 4 year story in FMCG. And the private banks. Mainly because, even though I probably think we're near or getting near to the bottom of bad news for PSU banks. I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet. But my dilemma is that I don't know how they actually build market share from here, because a lot of them anyway are under RBI watch, so they can't actually do any lending or borrowing. But how do they get back to growth? And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for them now, even if they were given more capital. So I think, you know, private banks, NBFCs are going to continue to take market share from PSU banks. So those are the three main areas, and then you can look at selective autos, you know, within that, in terms of the ones which are showing, you know, very, very strong growth with you know, lots of people waiting to buy their cars.
Many thanks, Andrew, for taking time out for us this morning. एंड्रू हॉलैंड साफ तौर पे कहते हुए कि रुपया 70 की ओर जा सकता है, उन्हें लगता है डॉलर और मजबूत होगा। ऐसे में आईटी स्टॉक्स, दिग्गज आईटी कंपनियों पे खास तौर पे आपको नजर रखनी चाहिए। साथ ही साथ प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंकिंग और एनबीएफसी पर भी वो बुलिश हैं इस समय।